First thing I'd say is we introduced Xero a couple of years ago, and it's really bedded in well, and it's operating very well. So I thought I'd sort of give that a tick on both the club accounts and for the trust. The other thing is that since we sort of raised sort of membership charges a little bit, our operations is operating in surplus, which is small surpluses, which is what we've been looking for. So I'm not going to talk about that. What I thought I'd talk about is just how we're going in terms of being able to fund the donations that we make. So I've just got a chart here. Sorry, it's not a little bit bigger. It's hard to judge whether you'll be able to sort of see things or not. So what I've got is 2014 year to date and last year, and I've put the club and the trust and showing the donations that each has made. And if you're not able to see the detail, we made a commitment a number of years ago to the Mulligan and Wellington Free Ambulance that we've been trying to catch up on. Thank you. We did Tiaro Medical, it's showing as 2014, it was committed to last year, but we made the payment early this financial year. We did the PNG dental project last year, and we had to do some underwriting of the school migrants. So the sort of the key point I wanted to make really was that we've spent in the club this year 48,000. Now I hasten to add that quite a lot of that has been funded through the trust, transfer from the trust, and I'll come back to that. And the trust has made payments already this year of 35,000. And then last year the club made payments of 53,000 and the trust 36,000. So overall we've averaged somewhere between sort of 88,000 across the two organisations over this year and last year. Now the thing I need to hasten to just comment on is that someone pointed out to me that the output for Wellington Rotary is not just sort of donations and money. There's obviously a lot of service that goes on, but as the Treasurer I'm going to be talking about the money side of it. So here's the fundraising that we've been doing over actually the last four years, sort of 2010 coming up to 2013. And I've got the Sergeant Session, Jumbo Tennis, other fundraising, and the total of those three sort of items. And you'll see that Sergeant peaked in 2012, has dropped a little bit in 2013, and that's a function not of generosity but of actual numbers. We've slipped back a little bit there. The Jumbo Tennis bounces around is around about 25,000 a year at the present time, and other fundraising has sort of started reasonably strong and has dwindled last year, and part of the reason for that is that we have competing projects, and so that's not a negative. We put a lot of time and effort into the Forum and Eureka, both sort of very strong projects. In fact, both of them have now been launched very well and truly, and Eureka is now being accounted for in its own trust, so it's actually outside Rotary Wellington now, although very closely associated. And the Forum is well established, but it's difficult for the Forum to generate funds. So the last couple of years it's been break even or a little bit below that. So overall, looking at those figures, we've probably got somewhere between sort of 40 and 50,000 from the club point of view to spend on our donations and other activities, things like the club projects and committee projects. And so from the first slide, we were sort of been averaging around about 50,000 a year, to looking at what our sort of fundraising is generating at the moment. There's a little bit of a shortfall there, which takes me on to the importance of the partnership which is growing between the club and its associated trust, and the trust has become very strong through the management of the trustees and the benefits that have been made by a number of bequesters. So around about $1 million, $1.1 million under assets, under management, funds management. 290 of that is a BK Knowles bequest, which was actually made to the club but has been put with the trust for management, and theoretically the club sort of invests, can spend the income of that, but in practice it's been sort of held in the trust and then sort of spent according to the sort of guidance of the club, and then other bequests is a salmon bequest, and then what I've called the Wellington Rotary equity. The numbers are indicative in terms of the split of that 1.1. And so, the trust is working with the club so that there is sort of income available each year. Of part of that, I've estimated around about 55,000 might be a normal income for the trust. But the trustees have to consider that, in the financial markets, things returns can vary. You've got if you're in equities, you could be zero one year and then quite positive the next. And a number of those bequests are tied. The salmon and the BK Knowles is mainly the elderly. So really, that was just put there to say that, there are significant funds in the trust, and there is sort of income that is coming, which is partially available through negotiation and discussion between the club and the trust trustees, that to give some scope for some sort of general donations. So that's probably my 5 minutes. Just a couple of thoughts I'd throw at you. I think it underscores Tony's strategy to make sure we maintain and grow membership. That will help us increase the Sergeant Fund. It just helps us in terms of the spreading the costs of the sort of administration of the club. And the other challenge over the next year or two is to find possibly a second standard fundraise. Jumbo Tennis has done it very well. We haven't managed to sustain. We've had a couple over the last sort of four years that sort of have come and gone. And in 1 year, I think you saw a little bit of extra money there in 2012, and that was the Navy Day, where sort of Tony sort of grabbed an opportunity, and through a weekend's work with a group of you, we raised $8,000. So that's just a snapshot of where we've been in terms of donations and fundraising income over the last few years.
Thank you, Wayne. That's great.